My high school crush rejected me for being too smart. Yesterday, he interviewed for a job at my company. I just conducted a job interview with the man who once told me being pretty was wasted on someone who liked books more than parties. Now he's desperate for the entry-level position that reports directly to me. 10 years ago, I was the awkward scholarship student at Westlake Crimer Perch Straight A's, thrift store clothes, and a massive crush on Brandon Miller. He was everything high school movies told us to want. Lacrosse captain, wealthy parents, that perfect smile that made teachers overlook missed assignments. For months, I tutored him in calculus during lunch breaks. Not for the extra credit, Piern. I just wanted those 40 minutes across the table from him 3 times a week. I highlighted formulas while he complained about his girlfriend. I solved equations while mentally rehearsing what I'd say if he ever noticed me as more than a walking calculator. Then came prom season. My best friend convinced me to ask him. He's single now and you've been helping him all semester. The worst he can say is no. Oh, but there are so many worse things than a simple no. I still remember exactly what I wore that day. Paired a secondhand blue sweater I'd saved 3 weeks of lunch money to buy. I'd practiced what to say a dozen times in the mirror. When I finally caught him alone between classes, his friends lingering just far enough away, the carefully rehearsed words tumbled out. Would you maybe want to go to prom with me? He looked at me like I'd suggested something obscene. Seriously? His laugh had that specific pitch that only exists in high school hallways. Why would I waste my prom on the classroom calculator? You are pretty enough, I guess. But what would we even talk about? Books. He said books the way people say garbage. His friend's laughter followed me all the way to the bathroom where I hid until my eyes stopped leaking maquilla. That night I made a promise to myself. I would build a life where I'd never need validation from people like Brandon Miller. College, grad school, a career in tech. At 28, I am the youngest director at my company, leading a team developing software that's changing how hospitals manage patient care. Yesterday, my assistant forwarded a resume for an open project coordinator position. The name hit me like a physical force. Brandon Miller, his Cosimin showed the story. University of Phoenix degree, a series of sales jobs, nothing lasting more than a year. His cover letter mentioned being ready for a stable opportunity and having recently relocated after a divorce. I could have rejected the application outright. I could have delegated the application outright. I could have delegated the interview instead. I scheduled it myself. When he walked in, the recognition was immediate but one-sided. I watched him scan my office, pert the diplomas, the industry awards, the floor-to-ceiling windows with a view of the city. I don't think we've met, he said, extending his hand. I am Brandon Miller. Actually, we have, I replied. Westlake Mida, you copied my calculus homework for a semester. The color drained from his face as 10-year-old memories visibly reassembled behind his eyes. I didn't recognize, he stammered. Let's focus on the interview, I said, gesturing to the chair across from my desk. For 30 minutes, I was the consummate professional. I asked about his experience, his goals, his understanding of our company. He grew increasingly uncomfortable, his answers less coherent. At the end, he finally asked, look, about high school, I was a jerk to everyone. I am sorry if I cut him off with a smile. The hiring committee will make a decision by Friday. My assistant will show you out sometimes. Success isn't about proving others wrong. It's about building something so meaningful that their opinions become irrelevant footnotes in your story. And sometimes karma wears a designer suit and sits behind a mahogany desk.